It's about 10:30 p.m. right now. Got this box shipped in today with parts for my RSX. Did get two outer tie rods. I have also sway bar end links here, clutch fork, boot. Alright, so these two bolts here are gonna be for the half shaft mount, which I stripped when I was doing my clutch. So it's been about 5 days letting my Brembo calipers heal or cure, whatever you want to call it. S2000 rotors. Got the calipers right there. Got all the mounting hardware. I am going to be reusing the brake pads that came with the actual Brembos when I bought them. They're in pretty good quality, so I don't see why not use them. I'm gonna sand them first, just to make sure that they're good. Only thing I don't have right now, which I wish I would have gotten earlier today, was tubing to bleed my brakes. I have some tubing that I use for my aquarium, but I think it's too small, but hopefully I can make it work. I don't know. Talk about first world problems. Today I will only be doing the front. These were about $140 or so. For the front ones, S2000 rotors from Power Stop. I really like these rotors. I got them on my Miata, and I trust Power Stop to stop my car. These are the front pads that came with the front Brembos when I bought them. As you can see, they have a lot of life left in them. Hardly used, so I'm gonna go ahead and sand them down and reuse them. I don't see any harm in that, so hey, why not? Better than spending more money on freaking pads, right? And just to clarify, the main reason why I'm sanding these down is to make sure they're even. You want your pads to be even all the way. You want them to be 100% flat so that they're touching, so that the whole pad is touching the rotor at all times. As always, clean up after yourselves. A clean work environment is better than a dirty one, and it keeps you motivated. It also helps if you have air conditioning in your garage, which I don't. I'm about to show you essentially what you need to do this Type R Brembo swap to your RSX. 2 Brembo calipers from the Japanese 02 to 06 Integra Type R. You will need these 2 brackets here that are supposed to come with your calipers. If they didn't come with your calipers when you bought them, you may or may not have a hard time finding them. 4 pins for each caliper to hold the pads in. You're gonna need the original bolts that came with the calipers. You cannot reuse the RSX ones because they're too short, so you will have to find some of these. Hopefully they come with your calipers when you buy them. Any year S2000 rotors of your choice. I got Power Stop slotted end drill rotors just because they look nice, but it's up to you. You can get AutoZone rotors, Advanced Auto Parts, whatever you want to get. They just have to be S2000 rotors. 350C Brembo pads. So the 350C came with a Brembo brake option, so those are the pads that you're gonna get. You should be able to find them at any auto parts store or order them online. whichever ones you want to get, as long as they're 350C Brembo brake pads. Last but not least, and of course you need the essentials. I'm using .3 brake fluid, but later on I'm going to use .4. .3 is fine for now, so you can use that if you want. And then of course you need brake grease to put on the back of your pads, to put on the actual cylinders, I believe that they're called. I'm not too sure, but yeah, get you some brake grease. Another thing that you might consider upgrading is the brake line. I am gonna do a stainless steel brake line upgrade in the future, but not right now because I don't want to spend the money. But that is definitely something worthy of upgrading. Don't tie them too much. Just hand tie them. Make sure they're in all the way. So make sure you use that. Alright, so in order to install the bigger caliper, Brembo caliper, you're gonna have to bend these back just like I did now. Just make sure you got enough room and that they're not rubbing against it. So there's no harm in that. Just make sure you do it right. So yeah. Alright, so the caliper is on and it's looking pretty good. Make sure you tighten those bolts down really good. Break it loose and undo it. Try not to get anything inside of it. Loosen up this bolt here, which is the brake line bolt for the Brembo calipers. After you do that, you're gonna want to swap it out with the brake line that's on the other caliper. You want to do this step really quickly, just so you don't get it contaminated or anything like that. Make sure your gloves are clean, and yeah, I'm gonna show you that now. Alright, so I got the driver's side done, and I ran across an issue with my wheel not fitting on the rotor, and I actually ended up scratching the caliper trying to spin the rim, which I'm not too happy about, but hey, what can you do, right? So what I'm gonna have to do is get some spacers. I'll probably have to get like a 5mm spacer. These are 25mm spacers, but they're too big. So what I'll do is I'll probably just go to AutoZone or somewhere to get some spacers, and then I'll work with that. But for now, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and bleed the brakes. So it is now the next day, and I went to AutoZone for some wheel spacers and some more brake fluid. So these are about 8 millimeters or so. So hopefully that'll give me enough room to put my wheels back on. So this kind of looks shady, I don't know, but I mean, I guess I'm going to try it, so I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Alright, so the wheel's clear, and I don't know if you can see very well, but that's about how much they clear right there, which is enough, I think. I'm gonna look it up real quick to see if that's safe, and then I'll get back to you. So I decided I'm not going to be using these cheap Dorman wheel spacers. I don't think they're safe, and honestly, I don't want to deal with any problems that arise from using that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and order some 10 millimeter H&R spacers that are hub centric, just like the ones I have now. Alright, I just got the 25 millimeter spacers on, and they clear pretty good. They do stick out a little bit more than I want, but for now I'll have to do until I can get some 10 millimeter spacers to bring it in some more. Okay, the install is pretty much done. Everything went great. I broke the pads and the rotors in, so I'm pretty much good to go. Next episode I'll be doing the rear brakes. I don't want to do them now because I want to get some new rotors for it and also new pads, so I'm not sure if I'll reuse the pads that came with the Brembo brakes that I bought, but I don't know. I may or may not reuse them. I don't know. The stopping power is pretty great with these, and honestly they look really good on the car, so I highly recommend it. If you got the money for it, I would say go ahead and do it. It's not too hard. One thing that I'm hoping for is that the paint that I put on it when I scraped it actually stays on there and doesn't melt off or anything. I'm gonna let the car sit for a day and see how it goes, but I think I'll be alright.